What's up, Notjust developers? Welcome to day one of Notjust Hack. Let me quickly explain what is Notjust Hack and then we're gonna get into the building mode. Notjust Hack is our 1 month long hackathon, which we're organizing from 1st of December to the end of December, 31st December. So if you're watching this video and it's still December, that means that there is still time to participate in our hackathon. And here is shortly what you have to do to participate. This is an online hackathon for mobile developers. Everyone is welcome. It's online and it's going to take place from December 1st to December 31st. All you have to do is build an application, launch it to the market, either to App Store or Google Play, and submit your entry by the 31st December. We have amazing prizes. The first place is going to win a MacBook Pro M4. The second place is going to win a Mac Mini M4. And the next 5 projects are going to win cash prizes. So all you have to do, go to notjusthack.com. And while you're there, make sure to sign up to receive all the important information. Also there, you're going to find more information about the hackathon, more information about the timeline. But the most important part is that now you should go ahead and start building if you are interested in participating. And you will also find more information about how to participate, the judging criteria, and so on. My plan during this hackathon is to also participate and to share my journey of how I built 4 applications in 4 weeks. You don't have to build 4 applications, you just have to build 1 application to enter the submission. But this is one of my personal challenges. I want to build 4 applications in 4 weeks during this December, and I'm going to cover this in daily streams. So from Monday to Friday, during the next 4 weeks, you can find me here on YouTube at notjust.dev. So make sure to subscribe if you want to follow my journey. I'm also going to stream on Twitch and Twitter on X. So you can find me there at Vadim, notjust.dev, and follow me, my journey. Today is day 1 and I'm excited to kickstart my first application. But before we do that, let me just quickly remind you that previous week we launched React Native Mastery, the course that I've been working on for the last year and in which I put all my knowledge and experience of building mobile applications with React Native and Expo. The course has the goal of teaching you the tech stack behind one of the most popular applications out there, and here I'm talking React Native, Expo, Expo-router, TypeScript, and other important libraries that you need to build production-ready applications. The course is based on 7 different projects that is very hands-on and gives you not only the knowledge but actually the experience that you need to build these applications. We already have more than 125 students. Today is the first day that I'm meeting them during our group coaching session, and we already have amazing stories from the early access students, from the 50 early access students. If you're interested, you can go to notjust.dev/React Native Mastery. And during December, we're going to have daily discount codes, which are going to be smaller and smaller by the end of December. Today, we have a discount code of 20%. So if you are interested in, go ahead, copy this discount code and use it at checkout. And this is the last day with 20% discount. Tomorrow is going to be 19, then 18, 15, and so on until we get to 0. So this is the last chance when you can get it at this amazing price with this discount. So go to notjust.dev/React Native Mastery. We're also going to have a link in the description if you're interested in learning this and becoming a mobile developer and being able to build applications with React Native and Expo. Now, back to our hackathon and back to my journey of building these applications. Let me say hi to everyone who is joining us live on YouTube, everyone who is joining us on Twitter. Hello, everyone. Let me just leave this link here for everyone that are interested. And we will get started. By the way, The December streams are going to be very different to what you might be used from my streams that I do usually. Why? Because usually my streams are educational and I prepare a lot. And I see that one of my lights are not on. Now it's better. So what I was saying is that usually my educational tutorials, for them, I prepare a lot and I deliver a very cohesive experience. In December, the experience is going to be totally different because I'm not preparing beforehand. I'm trying to share with you a raw version of finding ideas, of building these applications, on publishing them on the market, on trying to market them, trying to brainstorm and think about what to build. So it's going to be an interesting journey. You're going to see me struggle, most probably. You're going to see me sometimes devastated, out of ideas, not knowing what to do, for which I will be happy if you are going to be here with me in the chat, helping me with ideas, helping me decide and stay on track. I have only one goal, is to build these 4 applications and launch them with the idea of trying to monetize them. So not just some simple basic applications. I mean, they can be basic, but they should be monetizable. My personal goal is to make my first dollars from applications on the market. So, and meanwhile, I'm going to try to interact more with the chat, which usually I don't have the time for. So Ripon is asking when I start to write code for the hackathon. It's already started. The hackathon is started. You can go ahead, start building, start writing code. Make sure to use Git to track your progress because that's going to be important. And yeah, just go ahead and build. Who is joining the hackathon from the chat? Let me know, guys. John Doe, thank you very much for being here with me. Lawrence, let's go. Congrats on 100K. Thank you very much. November is best. So Rogelio, yeah, for everyone who is OG here, this is kind of a November series that we've done previous year. So yeah, daily streams. I saw Taufik Code signed up. Rohit, we are. Dylan is joining. Ismail, I got the idea. We'll start building today. I hope so. What idea do you have? Or maybe don't share with me because I'm out of ideas actually. I sign up. I need to do anything else? No, you need to actually go ahead and start building the application, build the MVP and start working on it. What if I have an idea and started working on them and you also do the same? Not the exact same, of course, but still. Will it be considered plagiarism? Probably no. Like the way I look at ideas is that ideas are kind of cheap. Like what's most important is the implementation. So you can give the same idea to 2 people and they will come up with different solutions. They'll come up at different things for sure. And when someone is saying, I don't know, there is some successful startups or applications, like, I don't know, I hear people saying like, oh, I had the idea for Airbnb even before it was a thing. Yeah, but you didn't do it. So what's the point of saying that? It's not just having an idea, it's just going and implementing it and finding out that it's so much more than just an idea. Vladimir is waiting to finish 9 to 5 so I can start. Or you can start and nobody's gonna notice it. Are you going to show backend also? Like only if it's needed, because I'm not even sure like what's going to be my first application. I have like a vague idea and I'm gonna share with you in a second like how I'm trying to brainstorm this time ideas, how I'm trying to prioritize. Ismail is saying I can suggest some ideas for you. I'll be very happy. So let's go ahead and start working. What I'm going to do is we're gonna work together. I'm gonna share with you the way I'm gonna do that. And by the way, I'm no expert in this. That's what you need to understand. Like, I'm an expert in building application, but building a monetizing application, like building a product, like it's a completely different skill set, which I'm still figuring it out. So I'm very happy to share this journey with you, because the development part is going to be by far the easiest part of this challenge, especially for me. Like, everyone is at different stages, but for me the development is going to be easy. The harder part is going to be like ideation, finding like a product that actually there is demand for, marketing it correctly, doing the App Store optimization, and so on. So let me go ahead and open here my Notion page where I'm gonna keep track of everything. We can start working. So my plan is to build simple application that solve a specific problem and that can be monetized through in-app subscription. That's the general idea. So the apps, let's do here like this. Let's do 2 columns. Apps I would like to build. And here on the on the right is going to be apps I don't want to build. And I'm gonna do that just to keep myself accountable, to set some rules for myself in order to be easier for me to find and decide on ideas. Because what I'm sure is that I don't want to revolutionize anything. Like, I don't want to build the next big thing. I don't want to challenge and build a new Facebook, because if I would think that I could do that in 1 week, I'd be very delusional. On the other hand, I want to build simple applications that solves a specific problem. And very targeted, like not an application that can do everything, but an application that does one thing, but it does it very, very well. I also don't want to build applications that would require maintenance. I don't want to build maintenance in terms of content, in terms of updates, in terms of things like that. Because I'm running Node.js development, and that's my main priority. Like, after the December, I'm not sure how much time I'll be able to invest in this application. And even though I would like to, like, my main focus is Node.js development and creating these amazing tutorials for you guys. So what I want to do is build once and be done with it. Build once and like, I don't want to maintain it, like with content, with different features, with updates, with so on and so forth. Also know that I don't want to build applications that require a critical mass of users. Social medias, marketplaces, and so on. These applications that require a critical mass of users for the application to be valuable, like let's say a social media is only valuable if there are a lot of users there. I don't want to build those kind of application personally, because it's hard. It's hard to get this critical mass. And I would rather build something that would be valuable even if just one person is using it. Because again, I'm gonna build simple, small applications with a potential of being monetized and bringing a couple of $100 a month. Small, not simple. Let's do small applications. And what I want to build, subscription-based apps. That's also something that I want to focus on. Yeah, we're gonna probably add here more as we go. Can someone tell me what is happening? So what's happening for everyone who is joining now? I think I'm gonna leave like a link somewhere. So what's happening? We are doing that Not Just Hackathon. This is our 1 month long hackathon where you can join, and all you have to do is build an application and launch it to the market from 1st December to 31st December and submit your entry to the hackathon before the deadline. And you have a chance to win a MacBook Pro M4, a Mac Mini M4, or cash prizes as well. More information about the hackathon itself, you can find at notjusthack.com. And what I'm doing here in the live streams, this is my participation in the hackathon. So I'm also trying to build 4 applications in 4 weeks during December and share this with you in daily streams. So for hackathon, like if you know what you want to build, you can go ahead and skip these live streams altogether. If you're interested in seeing like how I approach these problems and challenges and building these applications, feel free to join my live streams. I'm going to do them Monday to Friday during the next 4 weeks, and I'm going to try to build these applications. Let's go ahead and continue. So these are some of the criteria for the applications I want to select. For the process, the first step is going to be to find an idea. Then we're going to get into the implementation. After that, we're going to get into release, and then like maybe marketing, app store optimizations, and so on. But everything starts with the idea. And by the way, I only have around 40 hours for every application. So I have 5 days a week, and I'm gonna do 4 hours of live streams. Maybe I'm gonna do something off the camera, like when it comes to some screenshots or marketing materials or writing something. But other than that, like, yeah, the main thing is 20 hours of work. That means that I have to be ruthless, I have to be effective, and get going as fast as possible. So for the idea generation, the way I'm gonna try to do this process is a bit different compared to everything that I've done in the past. So the way to find ideas is I want to find a problem to solve. In the past, I would take advice from like the lean startup methodology and so on, talk with customers and try to find a problem. Now, I don't have time for that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to base my research based on ASO research. Like I'm going to research keywords, ASO based research. That's how I'm going to call it. And ASO stands for App Store Optimization. App Store Optimization is the process of optimizing your application on the store, on App Store or Google Store, using the right keywords so that it appears when users search for something. The fact is that around 65% of downloads of applications are happening through search. So people go on the App Store, they search something, and around 65% or something like that, that's how you get downloads. And that's what I'm gonna try to target. I'm going to try to find an application that I can rank on some specific searches, and this is going to give me this organic growth. Because I don't want, maybe I'm going to look into the ads, but I don't want to depend on ads. I want to have like this organic growth through App Store optimization. So there are tools you could use for App Store optimization. A lot of them are quite expensive, like things like AppRadar is one that I've used in the past. But yeah, like it's quite expensive, like 169 per month or maybe 59 a month. There are up to week, I think, for App Store optimization. This one is even more crazy, if I'm not mistaken. But there is one a little bit more simple application, but it's way cheaper, more accessible. How is it called? The Get Astro, I think. Get Astro or Try Astro. And this is a Mac-based application. It's mostly for iOS. And it has, I think, a one-time pricing, or is it per year? Yeah, it's per year, but it's 69 per year, so not that crazy. So what I did is I actually downloaded this application. And I have it here somewhere. And I started using it to try to find keywords that I could rank my application for. Okay. So, for example, I'm sorry, but I cannot seem to zoom in. Oh, I can. No, I cannot. I cannot zoom in. So really sorry if it's very hard to see, but I cannot zoom in. At least I cannot find a way to do it. But anyway, so here is one of the applications that I've built also on YouTube Live. I don't remember when, probably previous year. And it was an application for tracking your savings goals. Like you have a goal to save for something, for, I don't know, a car, a house, a down payment, a vacation, and so on. And you would use this application to track your progress. And I started by looking at some of the keywords that I was ranking for, or that I was trying to rank for. And what I found out is that most of them have a popularity of 5. And having a popularity of 5 is very bad. Like that means that nobody is searching for that keyword. And that answered some of the questions why that application is not doing very well organically. Because I was trying to rank it for some keywords that are not very popular in general. Maybe like goal tracker here is better, but goal tracker is not necessarily financial. Like there you're competing with some habit trackers and so on. But yeah, anyway, that was my first thing to see how it looks. Then I started like researching and thinking like some ideas. I started putting down and looking for some of notes that I was making throughout the times, and trying to see if there are popularity. And the way it works is you look for a keyword and you look at these two, popularity and difficulty. Popularity means how much is this keyword searched on Apple Store. The higher the popularity, the better, because there are more people looking for it. Difficulty, on the other hand, is how difficult it would be to rank high on that keyword. So the higher the difficulty, the worse it is, because it's going to be difficult to compete. So what we are looking for is high popularity, low difficulty. So I was going for some of my ideas, for example, under the music thing, like something around concentration music or music for kids or sleep music, white noise. And while the popularity is quite good, 30, 25, like I'm going to look for something above 20. The popularity is quite good, especially like kids music. The difficulty would be very hard, like it's 93, like it's going to be impossible to rank in the tops, because there are applications like Spotify. I'm not going to be able to compete with Spotify or with Apple Music or with YouTube Music and so on. So that idea is out of the park, like maybe not now. Then I was looking for some AI video subtitles, and even though like I thought that AI video subtitles is something that people would be interested in, like the popularity is low, video caption generator, video captions and so on, like these are all kind of low popularity. What else? I was looking something into the running, and this is something that maybe I'm still gonna look, because the one that stands out here is running with 44 popularity, but here it's impossible to compete because you have players like Strava, Nike, and so on. Everything else like is kind of low. Running tracker as well, like 72, but there is this marathon, which is kind of okay. I don't know. It's quite popular. It's 38, and the difficulty is 60. So maybe something around marathon. And the interesting part is that when you look at the application here, all of the applications from the top are nothing related to running a marathon. It's something different. Like, for example, this one is TV is better with friends, marathon. Like, what? Only like Nike Running Club is for marathon, but it's not, doesn't have the marathon in the keyword. So I think this one is actually something that I might do a bit later. This is actually something interesting. Let me add a note here. Interesting. And let me put it in my idea scrapebook. Marathon. 38 popularity, 60 difficulty. Top apps are not even related to running a marathon. And there is this couch to 5K, which is a way of training for running like 5K for beginners. Very popular because I think it's based on a book or like a very popular program. But I think like it's, first of all, Couch to 5K is a trademark, so I don't think I'm going to be able to use it in the name. And there are quite a lot of applications targeting it. So even though it says difficulty 61, I believe it's way more difficult. I don't know. Anyway, I was looking for some other things like AI business coach, AI coach, also low popularity. One idea that I just tried to see like what's going on there, which surprised me, is this one. Crazy. AI girlfriend and AI boyfriend. Look at them. Like from keyword perspective, like this is kind of like the golden thing, like popularity over 50, difficulty under 50. That would be interesting, but it's an interesting market. Like I don't know like how things are working there. Seems a little bit sketchy from the first go, like how do you monetize, who are the people that are using these applications? It's a bit weird, but based on the keywords, it's like really, really nice. So where do I have it anywhere here? Yeah, let's add here AI. Don't remember where I first heard about this AI girlfriend stuff, but yeah, seems like it's quite popular. Yeah. Ismail is saying, yeah, with these types of application, I know guys make 100K a month. That's crazy. Yeah. Is it App Store? Yeah, this how is it called? The Astro application is only for App Store. And by the way, I personally will only focus on App Store for the beginning, just because I have like such limited amount of time. I need to build and publish 4 applications in 4 weeks. So I'm going to only publish on App Store as well. Can you zoom in a bit? I cannot, sorry. I don't know how to do it. Like, it's not zoomable. But another one that I was looking for, which would be kind of not very difficult to build, is something like an extension of what I've built in the past about the savings goal tracker, but not necessarily a savings goal, but something specifically targeting like the net worth tracker, an application that would help you track your net worth over time. Like, as it will be an application where you could track like your net worth, your assets, your liabilities, and see how it grows, maybe get some advice on how to do that, but mostly like to be able to track it. What I like about this application is like it would be an application that if built right, people would use over very extended amount of time. Like, it's not one application that you use it for one day. If you start using it, your net worth is basically supposed to grow over your whole life. So you're going to use it for years ahead as long as the application works well. So it's this kind of applications with very long recurring usage. That's something else that goes to my mind when thinking about ideas. Is it something that you use only once, or is it something that you're going to use a very long time in the future? Because if, I don't know, you're building, let's say, an application for weddings, usually people have their weddings once or twice in their lifetime, and they would use like your application once and then they will forget about it. And that's also something to think about. I think you can also click on the three dots and drop down option and try in the top right corner. Drop down option and try what? This one? This is export. For zoom, nope, cannot. Is there a way to zoom like on Mac? Just zooming. Like, I don't have a tracker to magnifier. I don't know how to do that. Book settings, appearance, and adjust display size. Book settings. Oh, settings. Let me see. Appearance. And display size. Oh, this, what? Am I, like, I cannot see it. Medium. Oh, guys, it looks like I'm a view. No, view, nope. Font size. So this would increase the font. Okay, at least I increase the font. Yeah, I select the view, but there is no zoom. Nope. Eight. Hola, here it is, 8. All right, so that's how we're gonna do it. And I can go back, perfect. Thank you. One skill learned today. And maybe I'm gonna go to settings here. So, amigos, what's the plan? The plan is to decide on what idea to go with. Now I don't know how to get out of this. Even though this AI girlfriend, like it's crazy good in terms of keywords, like I don't have a very good vision of how it will end up. And it feels a bit weird for me. Maybe we're gonna get into it a bit later. The marathon as well, like it's quite difficult. It's 60. So for that reason, like most probably I'm gonna go with a net worth tracker for the first application. What do you think? Help me. Kieran is saying, I was trying to purchase React Native Mastery last night, but the coupon code expired. Can I get the 20% discount, please? The launch discount has expired because it was until yesterday. And during December, we're going to have discounts that decrease by 1 every single day. So only today we have 20% discount using this promo code. I can give you there, but you should also see it on the website. And tomorrow is going to be already 19% discount, and it's going to go down by 1 every single day. So if you wanted to join, go ahead and do that now, because every single day the discount is going to be smaller and smaller. Hey, Mr. Frank, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. A small application that lets you add AI to your keyboard, like a small keyboard helper that connects to GPT-4 to answer questions. I had no idea how to do that. Like, how do you add like a keyword helper? And what would be like the keywords? AI keyboard. AI keyboard. Look, actually there is a search for AI keyboard, but it's also very difficult to rank there, 79. You're welcome, Kiran, and yeah, welcome on board. Looking forward to meeting you there. So while I was going through this application, also think like, let me check like what you guys have been talking about. Okie dokie. To-do application. I think the market is too crowded with to-do application. But yeah, for a beginner, building a to-do application is great. Barcode scanning, historical value tracking, barcode scanning. Barcode scanner. Throw at me some keywords that you think would be good to target, and let's research them together. But I might steal your idea, so if you're afraid of that. What tool are you using for the searching? I'm using the tool called Astro. Try astro.app, the website. Not affiliated, I'm not sponsored, I'm just giving it a try. Barcode scanner is actually quite good, but difficult to... So in that case, like maybe you do something more specific, like barcode ticket scanner. So to be more specific, barcode ticket scanner, and it's already 5 popularity. Bad. Barcode ticket generator. Barcode ticket generator, also bad. Barcode generator. But maybe not barcode, maybe I need to do QR code. Barcode generator. Okay, that's already better, but I was probably thinking about QR ticket scanner. QR ticket scanner, nothing. QR generator. I think to be too hard to rank. Where is it? QR generator. 2365. Kind of also somewhere around this 2351. Idea management application. Save, bookmark, organize. Idea management. 5 popularity. Let's do here a new application. Fitness. Yeah, the thing is with fitness application, like it will be super hard to do. The difficulty is 95. Like you'd compete with giants. Student management. 5, low popularity. Attendance management. 5. So that's the challenging part of researching very valuable keywords, because it's either a good popularity but super difficult to track, like the fitness application where you compete with giants, or it's low difficulty but at the same time there is low popularity, which means that people are not searching for this. And that doesn't mean that you cannot build a successful business out of it. That means that you'd have to do different marketing strategies for the application. You'd have to do outreach, you'd have to do sales, you'd have to do, like, I don't know, paid ads, you'd have to do content marketing, anything else other than app store optimization, anything else other than people organically finding you. So this is purely for myself. Like, that's my goal. I want to build an application that I wouldn't need to invest a lot into the marketing part of it. I want to build it, put it out there, and let it rank good on the search results for some search terms that have some popularity that people are searching for, and get like this wave with it, getting like organic downloads per week. Local audiobook player with voice ads. Local audiobook player. Audiobook player. Audiobook player. 26.95. 95. Hard to reunion app where we can create groups and invite friends. Car generator. What kind of car generator? An app to handle the changelog. Would it be a mobile application? And changelog of what? Flashcards. Flashcard what? Flashcard generator, flashcard. Yeah, there is popularity. The popularity is good, but the difficulty is hard. Simple and quick invoice. Simple invoice. A very good actually thing, but low popularity. Generate invoice. Invoice generator. How would, like, think about how the person search for the application on the store. Invoice generator. Oh, invoice generator. Oh, invoice generator. Look at this. Look what we found here. Invoice generator 3452. What do we have there? Invoice maker for contractors. And I need to zoom in, right? You don't see it. So these are the applications that are ranking there. And there is only this application that has the invoice generator in the name. So while it's going to be hard to compete with them because they have it in the name, other than that, I think, I'm not sure, but I think it might be possible to rank there, you know? Because look, the actual keyword is highlighted only here. None of the others have this keyword in their title or in their subtitle. We have invoice maker, which I'm interested in seeing why do they all target invoice maker. Invoice maker, yeah, because it's more popular. People are searching more for invoice maker. And the difficulty is the same. So I see why they are doing, but at the same time, like, look, if you do invoice maker, everyone has this keyword. You see? Everyone. But invoice generator, so I'm not sure like how much to trust the difficulty. I'm actually going to have a call with an expert in this kind of stuff because I believe it would be easier to rank here in the invoice generator. Or maybe generator and maker were used as the same word. Easy invoice maker app. Easy, simple invoicing. Man, that's actually not a bad idea. Not Daniel is saying an application that would automatically subscribe people who watch notjust.dev without subscription. Yeah, guys, a reminder. If you're not yet subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe now. It helps us a lot. It takes only a couple of seconds from your time. And from our analytics, we see that more than 99% of you watching right now are not subscribed. So just a second, click the button. It helps us a lot. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Katalin Miron is here. Where is he? Oh, here. Hey, Vadim. Hello, Katalin. How are you doing? What about games? Games, very tricky. Like, I don't know, games are not following some of my rules here that I set for myself. Like, solves a specific problem. Like, a game doesn't solve a specific problem. It's also a very generic problem of boredom. Yeah, I get it. But nobody is going to search for how to solve boredom. I don't know, like, it's hard. Like, man, but this one, invoice generator. Vitor is saying, I'll come back here to watch the recording video later because now I'm going to finish the React Native Mastery Complex Forms modules. Amazing. Go ahead, do that. Okay, so let me, where is it? Let me actually do here. I'm going to add a temporary application. I'm going to rename it to Invoice Generator. And let's try to find some more keywords here. Invoice maker. Invoice generator. I made a typo there, right? Invoice. Invoice generator. What other keywords would work there? There is this one typo, which I will delete. Invoice maker for contractors, and it's the first one. Probably it's advertised because it's only rating 100. But this one, like the Zoho, let's try to see this one on the store. Now I cannot go out of. So simple and professional invoices. Let's look at the iPhone screenshots. Okay. So let's look for some ratings to see if there is any complaints or something like that. Okay. I have no idea how you'd compete with this application. Do they have in-app subscriptions? Because it says it's free. We don't have in-app subscriptions. Yeah, Joash is asking if you need to submit multiple applications. No, only one application is required. And yes, publishing only in Google Play Store is acceptable. So, Catalina, are you also participating? What other keywords would go here just to find delete? We tried simple invoice generator. Was it a thing or no? Invoice PDF. Aditya is asking the registration for Hackathon. So the Hackathon, to participate, you can still register. And all you have to do is go to notjust.hack.com, press sign up, leave your email here, and confirm your email. This registration is only for informational purposes. We're going to send you more information. We're going to send you the link where you have to submit. So it's not yet late to sign up. You can go ahead and do that. Now, all you have to do is build your application, submit it by the end of the month to the store, App Store or Play Store. Try to do it ahead of time because most probably it's going to be harder. And then submit your entry for the hackathon. That's it. Mr. Shahid is saying, if Catalina is participating, then there is no chance for us to win first position. But Avi saying, I just created from a job, creating a app on GitHub. Looks like idea brainstorming is the hard part. Yes, actually, like it's the hardest part. Like now I need to decide between some of ideas. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna bring some water, and I think it's time to decide because we have 20 hours and we are already 1 hour down. So I think the idea generation, we should get going. Catalin, should I participate? Yes, Catalin, you should participate. Catalin is saying, yes, he's participating. Awesome. What are we going to build, or is that a secret? Print invoice. That's a keyword that I should look for. Print invoice. Still bad. Day 1, completed the PRD for the application building and started designing UI today. Awesome. PRD, what's that? PRD. So I need to decide. I don't have a lot of ideas at the moment. I think it's coming down to these two. Either Invoice Generator 3452 or Net Worth Tracker, which is lower on popularity. In terms of complexity, I think they're kinda similar in terms of complexity. Both of them could be done even without a backend. There is a point like where it could be like a very easy MVP for both of them and add features later. Monetization wise, I think people who are generating invoices, like pros, simple to build an MVP, no backend required. I could do it like local first. Monetization, I think could be good. People who are like the target audience, people who are generating invoices, they probably should have like some resources to pay for such a thing. So, are we going with Invoice Generator? Let's just give it a go and do a poll. I'm not saying that I'm gonna follow what you say, but at least I'm gonna see what you think I should build. What should I build? Invoice Generator or Net Worth Tracker? tracker or AI girlfriend. Oh, it's funny, like even mentioning this one, but it's the best one when you look at the, let's see. So here we have our pages. Let's go ahead and create a new page for our, I'm gonna do here applications, and this is going to be my first application. Let's do the invoice generator and use it for notjust.dev things. Amazing. Actually, we are using a tool for invoicing, but it's not a mobile application, it's a web application. And yeah, I think that's a good idea. Catalin Miron is saying, I have no idea yet. I haven't thought about it. Most probably a local first reminders to do application. Awesome. So people want to see me build AI girlfriend. But invoice generator 50% so far. All right, Catalin, see you soon. And go ahead and stream your participation live. I'd love to see you. And if you haven't already, go ahead and check Catalin Miron's YouTube channel. He's back on YouTube. I'm happy for you. If it's an AI girlfriend, you have to call it Samantha, who got the reference. Well, it's definitely not me who got the reference. But let's not overthink it. That's the idea of building 4 applications in 4 weeks. I want to build the momentum. I want to build a lot of applications, learn from mistakes, and move on to the next one. So that's going to mean that let's stop overthinking. For some reason, YouTube just stopped working. Catalin Miron is saying, have fun and let's hackathon. Let's do that. So that means that our first application that we are going to build is Invoice Generator. Invoice Generator. Before we jump into the coding part, let's think about the app that helps, I don't know, contractors, small business owners to generate, send, and track their invoices. For the MVP, what are going to be the minimal features? Like what should an invoice generator do? Like what's the main feature of an invoice generator? Is to generate an invoice, right? Very obvious. Generate features. Generate an invoice and save it as a PDF. So that's going to be basically the main feature. I'm going to highlight it because once our application can do this, once it can generate an invoice and save it as a PDF, that's done. That means that the application is delivering some value. Everything else, like that we could do in future, like send it over email, track, and so on, is going to come later. And I want to do it to build a minimum viable product. Anyway, here are some sub points. Like to generate an invoice and save it to PDF, what do we need? We need a form. The user should be able to input data into a form. The user should be able to export the generated invoice as PDF. Let's do this as actual to-do items. and track them like this. I don't need authentication. I don't need anything else. I need a form and I need download. That's the first step. Then I can already probably start publishing it later, or like next version. We could go ahead and implement save invoice history with possibility to view past invoices. Save contacts. For example, save contacts, like people who are you working with, who are you usually sending invoices. We could, save and manage contacts. Send invoice over email. Choose template. Like part of an invoice, like let's think about what does an invoice need? Let's think about data. What does the invoice need? The information about the seller, information about the client, items, right? Items, and then totals, and so on. We could go ahead and ask ChatGPT to help us with this data, just for us to understand like what data we're gonna have to work with. This is gonna be a data-intensive application. Some of the templates should be free and some of the templates pro. Yeah, that's good. Pro templates, nice. Client, John is helping me a lot. Let me see. Generate invoice. Yeah, we have generate invoice. PDF, print. Print, what does printing mean? Can you connect over like to a printer from a phone, like through Bluetooth or something like that, or over network? Print. I need to research. I don't know how that would work. App user information. That's what I was also thinking. That might be actually one of the first next things. Info about you. Name, address, logo, and so on. Info about you. Use it to pre-fill invoices. And we're gonna pre-fill. Vadim, Stripe has a good invoice API you could use. How that would help us? Stripe invoice API. Because with Stripe, you are actually the goal. Like if you go with Stripe, I don't think you need the application that I'm going to build, because you could generate the invoice with Stripe and you can let people pay with it. But no, maybe you can send the invoice and let the person pay using Stripe. Maybe Stripe integration. I'm gonna also put it like this. I'm gonna look into that. Thank you very much for the idea. Print to device. Yes, Apple has AirPrint. Print. I will put here AirPrint. Nice. Now what I wanted to do is I wanted to go to ChatGPT and say, I am building an invoice generator application. Act as a professional product or professional product owner, and help me plan the development of the MVP for this application. The goal is to have V1 as soon as possible and only focus on what matters most. We can add things later. Now help me plan what fields, what data do we need from the user to generate an invoice. Let's see. Invoice number, it can be auto-generated. Date of invoice, due date, sender information, name, address, email, phone number, recipient information, customer details, okay, itemized list of products and services, okay, invoice summary, okay, payment information, I don't think we need that, optional notes, auto-generated calculated fees, total, tax amount, due. Okay. Let's start. I'm gonna copy everything here and I'm going to paste it here. So invoice detail, invoice number, date, due date. I'm thinking like, what can I skip for the beginning? I think date is important. Due date, maybe I can skip for a second, or probably due date is important. If you had to drop some of the fields, which one would those be? Let's see which one are phone numbers, okay. Tax ID or VAT number. Not all users will require this in early iteration, especially if targeting small business or individual. Payment methods, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Invoice date and due date is essential. Sender and recipient name and address crucial. Itemized name, quantity, unit, price. Okay, total amount, the main purpose of the invoice. Okay, now I'm thinking that in the next version, one of the first things that you need there is multi-currency. Initially, I'm going to use just one currency, maybe USD. Later on, I'm gonna add multi-currency. What else? Let's go ahead and plan. So number, date, and due date is good. Sender information, name, address, email, phone number. I will go ahead and actually remove it altogether, or maybe put it with a dark color, with a gray color. Tax ID. Feel that this is important. Recipient information, customer details, name or business name, address, email, phone number as well. I'm going to do that. In future, also email of a customer would be important, because if we want to email him automatically, we're gonna need to know that, but I'm gonna put it with gray. I'm not gonna focus it. Oh, but I have it here. So maybe I'm going to move this one down. Itemize list of products, services, item name nor description, quantity, unit price, total per item, auto calculated. Okay, invoice summary, subtotal, text. This one, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I'm gonna look into it a bit later. So this, I'm going to do that. I'm not gonna cover this as well. Okay, so this would be the first things that we have to cover. Why it's so silent in the live chat? Have you already started building your application, guys? Okay, so now generating a PDF is gonna be fun. Let's do important improvements, or yeah, right after the first version. So let's do here fast follow. I'm not gonna cover in the first phase some data validation because it's going to be hard, but next is going to be important. Data validation. Multi-currency is going to be here as an important thing. Hello, Zain. Okay. Should we go ahead and start building this? Multi-language support is definitely not something that I want to cover now, like later, like it's only if the application shows success. That's, yeah, it's something that I don't think is going to differentiate if it's going to work or not. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. And let's go ahead and while we're here, I'm going to initialize the project. I want to get started as soon as possible. Build something to have, you can use those schema and types can be generated for them. Yes, I know that. Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go into the paths. I'm gonna make a dir not just hack. Let's go into the not just hack. And here, let's go ahead and initialize npx. Let's try to go with create expo stack at latest. And this is going to save us a little bit of time to configure like Nativewind and so on. I'm going to use Nativewind for styling. The application name is going to be Invoice Generator. I'm not going to overthink the name. TypeScript. Yes, Expo-router. What types of navigation would you like to use? It's going to be tabs, stack, tabs, with 2 tabs, like stack. Yeah, let's go with a stack. We can always add more. Let's go with Nativewind. For state management, do we need any state management here, or can we simply go ahead and do that with context? I would split this into like multiple steps. And store everything into a context. Did I choose Zustand? I made him. Okay, I'm gonna use Zustand for state management. For authentication, I'm not gonna use anything. Do you want to set up EAS? At some point, I'm gonna set up EAS, but not now. No, let's go ahead. Unit types like kg or pieces. Yep, that's good. Okay. So let's go ahead and open it with Cursor, which is Visual Studio Code with powered by AI. I'm gonna see how helpful it's going to be, or yeah, I'm gonna try to experiment as much using some AI tools to speed up the development process. So I'm gonna go ahead and start right away with npm start our application. Let me check in the package.json if we're using the latest Expo 52. Yeah, that's good. I'm already lost. Yeah, Expo 52 is the latest one. Let's go ahead and run it on iOS. I'm gonna update Cursor, of course. Hey Zain, thank you very much. Happy to have you here. Bye bye guys. If you are here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. That will help us a lot. And yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for joining my journey. I'm gonna start npm start. What's that? Okay, I'd run it on iOS. Require packages SQLite and file system. SQLite, I'm not sure I'm gonna go into storing data because, as I said, like initially, I just want to create and export a PDF. Later on, I can think about the invoice history, saving these invoices, viewing them later. But now I just want the form and then download PDF. That's going to be my first step. So for that, I don't need SQLite. File system, yeah, I would need to store the PDF. I don't have a lot of experience generating PDFs, so that's going to be also a fun experience. Okay, here we have it. Here we have 2 pages in our application. So the first step is then to generate the invoice. That is going to be a form, and I'm going to do it as a multi-step form, not to have everything into one single page. So I'm going to start with invoice details, sender information, and so on in separate forms. So that's why in the application I'm going to create a new folder called generate or invoice/new. let's go invoice, or let's do invoices, and another folder here, new, and inside the new, or maybe generate, I'm going to add a underscore layout.tsx. I'm going to add the index.tsx file, which is going to be the first screen. Here I'm going to do export default function generate invoice, return. It's not going to be a div, like I want a view with a text, new invoice. The layout here, let's do export default generate invoice layout, and it's going to be return a stack. Is there anyone with experience using cursor in our live chat? And from the home screen, I'm going to say that this button is going to be new invoice. It's going to redirect us to invoices/generate. And I don't need any params. New invoice. Let's reload. New invoice. Invoices generate. Perfect. Now from the layout here, I will go ahead and hide them. Invoices generate. I'm gonna do options and do header shown. False. And here I'm on the index. Perfect. On the index, I need is the invoice detailed with first things that we need to put: invoice number, invoice date, due date, or is this the first thing that you want? Where is my Chrome? I will split this into a multi-step form. What would be the logical order of screens to collect the data? Singular names for routes because it's dealing with one entity, but at the same time there can be a list. Yeah, maybe singular. Sender information, your details, name, address, email, and so on. Recipient, yeah, that's what I was thinking, that the third one is the invoice details, items, and so on. So back here, I'm going to say that, hey, invoice details is going here. And in the layout, let's go ahead and we're going to style it using Tailwind classes using the class name prop. Stream is off. Why stream is off? No, we're some issues with my stream, but it's not off. Please come back. Are we back? No, don't do that to me. It recovered. Yes, let's go. It's working now. Thank you. Sorry for that. Like, I know my internet does this from time to time. So let's see what the AI generated for us. I'm going to accept. AI generated for us. I'm going to accept. And here we have it. Well, it's not that bad. Sender information, name, address, and so on. That's good. Everything is kind of gray. Do we want to make the background of the inputs white? Or just to leave it like this? Yeah, there is something with the height of that text input. What's wrong with the height there? Oh, because it has text large. Okay, I'm gonna remove text large here to not have to worry about that one. I'm gonna increase a bit the padding. I'm gonna go with a padding 4 for all of them. Padding 4. Yeah, that's better. And at the end, we are going to have a button with a title from components with a title next. And so the form is scrollable, but the button is always visible. And maybe for the button, we're gonna do margin vertical 2, just to have some space around here. Not margin vertical, but margin Y. Well, margin top 10. Okay, margin top 2. 3. Oh, it's I have margin already here. Padding top 3. Would that work? No. Well, I'm focusing on not important things, so I'm gonna leave them like this. So now the form, at least it's scrollable. That's good. But at the same time, what are we gonna do with our keyboard? So with our keyboard, again, it went off. What's going on, YouTube? Now I believe it should be good because it says connection is good. Let me double check because I never remember how to properly handle like the keyboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go quickly in the source code that we have for the course for the multi-step form. Hopefully I'm not sharing anything here. 1 second. Forms. Source components. And actually there we have keyboard aware scroll view like this. Let me check if adding a component like this would help us. Keyboard aware scroll view.tsx. And here we have a keyboard avoiding view. We have a scroll view. And we have a safe area view with children inside. So I'm going to take this one and put it here. Should I put it here? Keyboard aware scroll view that we just created. What will that do? Okay, it adds the background white for some reason. I don't need background white. Maybe I should just put it at the top instead of this one. Let me try. But I really want the button to be on the top of everything. Can I do that? Or it doesn't matter. We can still scroll and do next. Yeah, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving because at least it's working properly. It's going to allow users to input this data. So we have a keyboard awaiting scroll view. We have a button. I'm going to delete these unnecessary duplicated fields. And maybe we're going to extract this view with a text input and a text to a separate component that is going to help us reuse it into a custom text input.tsx. And let's do here export default custom text input. And what we're going to return is this view with text input. Come on, view from here, text from here. This is going to be our label that we're going to receive through properties. Type custom text input. Okay, we have label, we have text input props. A label we're going to take and put it here. Text input props, we are going to send them down here. Class name, maybe we're going to merge it together with these default class names to make it reusable. Class name, okay. Placeholder is going to come from where, multiline is going to come from where. Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna work. Now back here, all I have to do is render instead of the view render. Oh, come on, what's going on here? Custom text input label name. Then address multiline. Then tax ID. Come on. So next we have name, address, tax ID. For some reason when I highlight on it, something happens here with a button. Weird, but we're gonna, not the most important thing now. The screen share, now it's shared. So now you should see it. Give me a second, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna take a very short break and then we continue. Look who I've got here. This is my helper, Denchik. Hello, say hi to everyone. Oh, you're so cute. He's having his zoomies right now. Yes, Denchik. Yes. What are we building today? Tell them. He looks so confused. Yeah? Confused? Command K for AI features. Okie dokie. Okay. Before I move to the next screen, I'll go ahead and start setting up how I'm gonna collect data and how I'm gonna store it. I think Flex 1 on keyboard avoiding view should fix the button glitch. I kind of have Flex 1 here. And I have Flex Grow. I don't remember why exactly I did it this way. Like I could try to investigate it by doing background color red, and it's not from here, right? No. Scroll view style, Flex 1, background color red. Oh, you see? There it is. There, what's happening? Because what? The keyboard avoiding view. Where is that coming from? It's probably from here, because if I completely remove a keyboard avoiding view, I don't think I'm gonna have this glitch. Behavior iOS. Is this has anything to do with it? Yeah. So 110 was a guess there, right? I need the actual amount there, keyboard vertical offset. And you get that, do you know, how do you do that? Remove a behavior property. Do you think that? Thank you very much. It doesn't work without the behavior property. Oh, maybe I have some. I don't need the flex one here. So. But yeah, still doesn't work. I just needed the exact amount. Like I could guess it, but I'm not sure like if it's like 100, what would that do? It's less. So yeah, 95. But I need to take the dynamic size of a header and the dynamic size of the above there. iOS padding. Yeah, but I'm on iOS. So for me, this one doesn't have any impact because I'm not targeting Android. So if it's height or undefined, like not really that important for me now. And this one shouldn't be flex. Definitely. Okay. I'm gonna go with this one. And even though like I know it's not the right one, but throughout this throughout my challenge, I'm gonna take shortcuts. I'm not gonna be perfect coding wise always. I'm gonna prioritize moving on and having progress rather than being perfect, because I can always come back and improve things, or at least that's what I'm saying to myself. But we'll see. Anyway, now it's good enough. Nice. Thank you. Got my coffee. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to do my first git commit -m. First form, first step, UI, git add, git commit. I'm going to go ahead and create my repository in GitHub. It's going to be a private one. I'm going to put it probably under notjust.dev, or maybe my personal one. Invoice Generator. Let's go ahead and connect it to my local one and push my changes. Okay. And everyone who is participating in the hackathon, I also encourage you to set up your Git repository from day one and commit often, because before we choose the winners, we're gonna look through the commits, and we're gonna see if it kind of makes sense with the changes that you are doing. If it's logical that if it makes sense, basically, to make sure that you're not trying to game the system. Okay, so now from my end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start using React Hook form to manage the state of my form, because I could use simple state variables, but that's not going to be very scalable when we are going to add things like validations and so on. So what I'm going to do, why my keyboard is not working? I'm going to go ahead into the documentation, get started. Let's install npm install hook form. Perfect. Let's import use form from React Hook form in our index here. And we're gonna start by, initializing the form here, const something equal use form. Now, let's see. Handle submit. Handle submit is the function that we need to call when we press the button, and it will first validate the form, and only after validation of the form, it will perform something. So const on submit, we're gonna do console log data. When we press the button, we're gonna do handle submit and only then call the next function. So this is how use form hook works. I'm not gonna stop at explaining how use hook form works because it's going to require a lot of time. So again, like, these are not educational tutorials. I get like really in depth into this multi-step form management system in our fourth project in React Native Mastery course, where we handle multi-step forms, and there we are using React Hook form and a lot of stuff that we need in this application. So if you're interested in learning more about that, check out React Native Mastery for more in-depth tutorials about it. But now I'm going to go here and say that I want to use in React Native, and for React Native we need to use this controller. For that we need to get the control from use form, and we need to wrap here a controller component from React Hook form. It's name, and when rendering, we're gonna render a custom text input field. So now it's here. It shows twice because once is control, one not. And if I add here some rules, name is required. If I'm gonna try to, let's do console warn. All good. Go to the next step. If I'm gonna press now, I don't see the console warn, but if I give some data here in the name and press next, it still doesn't work. Let's take errors here, or its form state, then errors. And let's do a console log errors and see, look at the errors themselves. Next, name is required. If I write something here and do next, still name is required. Why? Because most probably the field should have this on-change text, right? Benji, what are you doing? Field on change. Yeah. On blur is good, value is good. The only thing is that this field contains on change text. So I'm going to do on change text, on change. We are different names. Or better say, field dot on change. Now if I write something and do next, it's still the same. No, it's all good. Go to the next step. But why I don't see it or on the screen? Maybe that's from the new architecture. Okay, so now we have this control text input, but to make it easier for us to work with, what I'm going to do is actually get this control input and move it inside the text input itself. So I'm going to put here, I'm going to modify my custom text input to include the controller. The controller is going to be imported from React Hook form. That means that we need to receive through props here a control. We're gonna take the control, send it here. We also need the name of a field, which is going to be a string. The name is going to go here. Name. For the rules, I'm going to skip them for a second, so maybe I'm gonna just do required. Render item. I'm going to put this view inside render item here. Now from here, I can remove a controller when using custom input. And what I should do is I should say that, hey, this custom input needs a control and it also needs a name. So the name is the most important thing, how we will distinguish that, how we're tracking it. Same here. Name is going to be, not here. Name is going to be address. And control is going to be control. And here on change text, no. Name, text underscore ID, or maybe text ID like this, and control equal control. Now, if I go here and try press next, we have more errors for address, for name, and for text ID, which I can go ahead here and get the information here. So I can do here, hey, render the error as field dot field or field state error. So let's render the error message. Name is required. So if I do reload and go here, we don't have any errors. If I do next, we have name is required. Good, because name is required is coming from these rules, and we are gonna adjust it later. For the margins and so on, instead of doing margin bottom here, maybe I should do a gap property on the view, gap 2. Good. And even a larger gap on the whole. Gap 4. Come on. Gap 4 is too much. Gap. Oh, gap. Oh, what happened? Margin bottom 4. No. Here, I don't need any margin bottom. I want to manage that through the parent, and the parent is kind of good. Okay, something like that. Yeah. Now if I press next, we have errors as well. Perfect. Another thing that I can improve to make it easier for me is not to send the control over again and again, because there is a way to use a hook. I think it's use controller. No. Integration design. API. Use controller. This custom hook powers controller. Additionally, it shares some properties method controller. It's useful creating a reusable controller input. The following table contains name, the control. Use controller. I think here, instead of sending the actual control in the custom input, and I'm thinking like, is it necessary to do that? But let's just check if it's going to be easy for me. I'm going to use controller hook to get access to dynamic controller. The use controller, it needs one argument for what? The name. Use controller. Yeah, name. We get the control here. I don't need to send it through parameters. Use controller. No, isn't it like that? Oh, I have field. Oh yeah, like in that case, I don't need the controller like this. And I don't need the render. Yes, I can go back to how it was before. Just a view with text and so on. But at the same time, yeah, like it's it's not ready yet, because cannot read property control of null, because here we need to do a control provider. Controller provider, so that the fields have access to it. Is not defined. Form provider, right? Form provider methods. Yeah, it's form provider. Should I? Form provider. And the methods here. So let me see, form provider from React Hook form. Now I need to put all of this into a const form, get this from here. I don't need to send the control here anymore, just the name. Okay, now it works. I do next. Something is not working. Next, handle submit. All good. Why does it say that it's all good? Oh yeah, because here in the use controller, besides name, I should do rules, for example, required, yes. But even if I will write something, it's still gonna have name is required, because the field, how is it called? Field on change, on blur and value. I'm not sure about reference. But on change, on blur, on value should be given here to the text input. So and they should come only from here. They should not be modified. So I'm gonna do value or on change text. Value and on blur, on blur. Let's see now if I'm going to write something. Yeah, the error goes away. And if I type something, it goes away. Now it's properly done. Shotsen uses form object directly, and form object has control. Form.control. I mean, yeah, like I destructured here. I don't think I need it anymore. Where is it used? It's not used. I don't need controller here anymore. I don't think I need errors anymore, so that's why I can remove them. And handle submit can be directly like form.handle submit, right? Form.handle submit. That's how we're gonna do it. And I don't know what happened here. Let's try to close some of the things, open them again. What happened? npm start. Reload. New invoice. Next. Okay. Now let's do the form validation. I'm gonna go ahead and do a commit. So let's do git add git commit -m react hook form git push origin main. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to use Zod schemas, and I want to use Zod schemas to validate data. So let's first go ahead and install Zod. Zod is a schema-based validation for TypeScript. So let's go ahead for the installation. I think I just have to do npm install Zod and probably hook form resolvers, because that one, if I go here in advanced for hook forms, there should be schema somewhere. Schema control use. TS. Get started. Schema validation. So yeah, you need hook form resolvers. So that's why I'm gonna install Zod and hook form resolvers. Perfect. And from this example, we need to define a schema using Zod. So I'm going to ask generate the Zod schema for this form. Let's see what it does. Zod generate invoice schema, name, address, tax ID. Yeah, that's good. Let's accept it. Generate invoice schema. Sender info. Let's do sender info schema and sender info type, which is gonna come from here. Now it has name, which is required, address is required, and tax ID is actually optional. So I don't think it's actually required. Now I'm gonna take this sender schema and I'm gonna say, hey, this use form for the resolver. Resolver is going to be Zod resolver, which we can import. Was it imported? No, it was not imported. We're gonna import that one. So now we have a resolver, and the form can be of type sender info. Should I do it with capital sender info? I don't know, let's try. Now if I go here, and if I do next, we see required, z.string dot optional. If I do next, the tax ID is not required. Perfect. For the name, here we can say name is required. Name is required. No. So if I go here and do new, name is required, address is required. If I do here, it's still name is required because it's coming from here. Yeah, perfect. Name is required, address is required. I think I'm gonna do here gap 3, gap 4, just to have more space. Yeah, initially, this one looks good. Maybe no. I just need to be mindful of the error messages, and I don't want to move the form around when it appears. And yeah, I think now this is good. Use the use query. Why should I use the use query? Do you mean the Tanstack query? Where would I need it here? So git status, git add, git commit, Zod validations. Okay, so we have a first part of a form. We have a first part of a form for the sender information. The next one is going to be recipient information, also name, address, tax ID. Let's go ahead and think we're going to simply duplicate it. The index, we're going to duplicate it and here do sender, recipient. And let's just find here sender, where we say sender. I'll leave here sender, just because later maybe I'm gonna combine them together. And here let's do recipient info. Now back on the index, when we do submit, if everything is good, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do router.push. Can I do it like this? Recipient. So if I do next, I cannot go, but if I add some data, do next, I can go. No, invoices generate. Okay, recipient information, perfect. Look here, I'm gonna go ahead and do some default values. So default values, name, Vadim. Just because I will test it a lot, so I don't want to. Yeah, I'll test it a lot and I don't want to write it over and over again. Perfect. Now on the recipient, let's do the same. Client. So here, sender information, recipient information, we can go on and on. The next one is invoice details, is the invoice number, is the date of invoice and the due date. So that's going to be the next screen. Let me do a get status, get add, commit, sender info. And the next page for us, it's going to be, maybe I should duplicate, and it should be invoice info. Yeah, let's do like that. So after recipient, we're gonna go to invoice info. So here, client. Oh, I don't have it yet. Invoice info. Invoice info. Recipient. Router, I need to import it. So new invoice, boom, boom, invoice info. Okay, so let's start with the invoice info schema. It needs a number, which is gonna be a string, so invoice number, right? Should it be numbered? Let's call it invoice number to be very specific. Require invoice number is required. And even though it's called invoice number, I think it should be a string. Then it was date of invoice. Date. Let's do here add date and due date. Can we initialize here? I don't think so. Date and due date. Is it gonna be a string? We're gonna store it as a string. I don't know. But anyway, here, invoice information is gonna be created based on the invoice schema. Invoice info, invoice schema. For the default, the invoice number Yeah, let's do like that. For the date, I'm actually going to do new date. And here for due date, something like that. Recipient invoice info. And here I need like this. Okay, good. I'm gonna add some tasks, features. Let's go ahead, MVP, tasks, to do, date time picker for date and due date. I'm gonna come back to it a bit later. And I'm gonna focus on building the forms first. So what next? Invoice date details, invoice number, date of invoice due date. Then we have itemized list of products. Item name, quantity, unit price, total per item. Let's go ahead. That's going to be interesting. Let's see, generate new file, items.tsx. I don't know, I'm going to do it like this. Items. From invoice info, the onSubmit is going to go to items. So if I press items, and the inputs are going to be interesting. I wanted to ask, is backend necessary for the hackathon? No, backend is not necessary. Use only things that are necessary for the application. For example, in my case, I'm not going to use a backend because I don't need to get started. I'll do everything locally. I'm not even going to store anywhere the data because it's possible to do that, like for some specific application. So focus on delivering value, solving a problem. That's what's the most important part. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna be back and we continue. Hello, and I forgot to get some water. I'm gonna be back. So we are at the invoice, at the items, right? For the items, we need the name or description. We need quantity, unit price. So that's going to be a bit challenging. Let me double check one thing. Where is it? How is it called? Look, this is the tool that I'm using for invoicing. So what it has for items, it has title, price, and quantity. And then add item. Design-wise, how we're gonna do that? Let's start with a schema. So items. First of all, we're gonna have another schema for an item. Name, quantity, and price. I think that's good. Name, quantity is required, and price is required. Then we have what? We have here a type item, invoice item. Invoice item schema. But this is the items, so item schema is going to be an array of item. I think that's right. It's an array of item. And here items, and our form is going to work with these items, and the default value is going to be an array with example quantity 1, price 125.5. Okay, so this is our form. Now let's go ahead and here do generate the UI for our forms to collect data about invoice items. Let's give it general and then see what it comes up with. Get values. We're gonna map custom text input. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's accept and see. Form get value is not a function. Form get values dot map is not a function. Use form with arrays. Let's go ahead and check that. Use form arrays. Working with virtual, imagine a scenario where you have a table of data. This table might contain hundreds of will have inputs. A common practice is to only render the items that are in the viewport. However, items array, okay, title quantity. Form provider, auto resizer, what? List item, items, with item. Item data, items. But where are the inputs? There is a list. Let's comment out for a second here. This one. It's an object. Why is it an object? Form.get values. That's an interesting topic. Get values. Get values. Use field array. Custom hook for working with field arrays. Dynamic form. Motivation to provide a better user experience and performance. You can watch this short video, visualize the performance enhancement. Use form field. Use field array. Come from use form. Form provider. Fields. Map, field, and index. So I just need fields, form dot use field array. Unique name for your field array. So use field array. Control by default value. Wait a second, I don't think I did it right. Item schema. Or maybe I did it right. Let's see. Name. String is not assigned to part type, never. Use field array. It's array. Something is working there, but I don't know what. Append fields. Test.index. So I'm thinking that the schema, the item schema, should be the object maybe, where we have items as this. So it's not going to be an array directly. Dot array. Now the default value can be items like these. Okay. Now we have items. Now maybe here it's going to work if I do field dot or fields or field. Field dot, come on, fields. Okay, yeah. Fields dot map. We have field and index. We use index here. And the name, I think it should be items.index.name. Let's see. If I get here, field does not exist. Form, set values, items. Okay, we have a first item. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Next. Submit. The quantity is required. If I press add item, what's happening? This is an interesting topic. Add item. Should I use the append from here? Okay, add item, add item. Okay, at least adding it works using append. Okay, that's clear. Expecting number, received string. Price is required, price is required. Man, I think something is working. Not sure, but if I press next here, doesn't. Because it has this default quantity, but it doesn't get it. Let me check something. Item 1. Name. Next, name is required. Name is required. Good. But for quantity, change text, form set value. Wondering why it doesn't get the default value here. For the quantity, for example. Oh, because name should be items dot quantity. Items index quantity label quantity. Hello, Vladislav. How are you doing, bro? What's on your agenda for the stream today? So today is the first day of the hackathon, and remember I was telling you that I'm gonna build 4 applications in 4 weeks. Well, basically today I'm starting the first application, and it's going to be an invoice generator. Now I'm figuring out how everything is gonna work to generate invoices from an application. So I have here some forms with some input validation already, and I'm figuring out like this items. Why quantity is not set? On change text. Custom text input form provider form. Expecting number received string. I know why. Because on change text, in the custom input, maybe I should allow from outside to change how we handle that. Let's try. But if it's like this, expect a number received and not a number, like this, it works. Okay, it's good. I don't know why it doesn't pre-fill the value, so I'm gonna do quantity here like this. Okay, thank you very much, Vlad. What are you doing? But I really want to say quantity at least for default value. Maybe price, no, but quantity. Use field array. Yeah. Value name. Name, items, index, quantity. If I do name here, will it display? And is it because it's a number and not a string? Yeah, I think it's because quantity is a number. You see? Value to string. But let's do it safely. Okay, now quantity is 1. Okay, and price is required. Perfect. That's good. Let's try ask ChatGPT put quantity and price in the same row. Let's try to say accept, see how it will look. Quantity and price. Okay. Should I add another column with total? If we look here, price, quantity, and then total. So it would be first price, quantity, and then we have another view. Display the total as a text in the third column. Okay. Flex 1. Why is it BG red? Okay, it means that this one should be with full. Why then? Oh, because I have this view. Okay. Total 0. And if I would do 125, yeah, quantity 4, 3, yes, it calculates automatically. Maybe I should align them to the right, text right here as well, or text center better. Okay, something like that. I like it. For the total, maybe I can even do font bold. Okay, let's make this add item button smaller, or maybe the whole view. I would put it with BG gray 50, maybe padding 4, maybe rounded, LG, shadow, just to have like a card. Shadow like this. Okay, we have an item. If I do next, price is required, 1, 2, 3, next, perfect, and I can add one more. There should be form provider. I'm gonna do here a view with class name gap, so there is some spacing around these views. No, it's not here. My bad. This rounded and so on, and shadow should be on this one. And padding 4 as well. Okay, something like this. I don't think I even need the title here for the items. That's clear. For the add item, should I just do here button? Another kind of button, like small. Let's do here add different types of button: primary, secondary or outline, and link. Button props, variant styles. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. So what don't you like? Okay. Variant primary, class name. Styles. Styles variant. Dot button. And here styles variant, not button text. Let's just do styles. Maybe I'm even gonna put them at the bottom like this. Text. And for here in the items, this is going to be a variant link. Let's go new, next, other item. The link, I don't think we need, where is it? The link, underline, I don't need that. I'm just gonna do font bold here. Add item, item 2, next. Okay, perfect. Removing an item, how we're gonna do that? Should I cover it? Git. Git commit minus items. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm gonna be back and we continue with these items. I am back. How are you doing, guys? Are you still here? 150 people on Twitter watching. That's so nice. How are you doing? All right. What I wanted to do here. Maybe I'm going to add here in the to-do list tasks, remove item from the invoice generation form. Invoice item. Now, like if you added it, like you need to complete something here. And then we can do next. And what other data do we need? Itemize. That's it. Now it's invoice summary. So that's going to be the last step in the generate part. Is going to be summary.tsx. And here, let's go ahead and do build the UI that will display the summary or the invoice. It should have multiple cards. Sender info, recipient info, invoice details, and items and totals. I know, let's accept it. And from our items, we're going to navigate there. So items on submit, we're gonna go to summary. So next. Let's also put a price 100 as the default one here. Next. And yeah, it doesn't exist yet, but if I go again. Okay, something like that. sender, recipient, invoice details, items, and totals. I think I like how it looks generally right now. It's just a matter of getting the right data here. Right? So let me just make sure that I do git add, git commit -m items, git push origin main. Okay. Why it doesn't have a shadow? Oh no, I mean summary, shadow. I think it's too harsh, this shadow. What's the smallest shadow you could go with? Tailwind CSS shadow SM. For some reason, for me, even XS is working, and it looks better than the others. So I'm gonna do. Oh, now they don't have just a shadow? Did I just remove their shadow altogether? But it was working, come on, shadow. That's weird. Shadow access. What? You know what? I'm gonna remove shadow for here for now. It gives me a bit of headache. Don't want to focus on that now. Okay. So what do I need now? I need a way for us to gather information through these pages. And when we get on the last page, to take this information and display it properly. Because right now we do not have it here. For that, what I'm going to do is most probably I'm going to use a Zustand store to store the information about these invoices as we collect them over time. Okay, so How to do it properly? Let's ignore a little bit the interface, which actually I would rather do it as a type. I don't know why it was an interface. Okay, so as we have multiple screens where we collect information, starting with sender information, then recipient, then invoice info, and so on, we are slowly going to put this information here. Let me think how we're gonna do it. Let's do new invoice. It's going to be initialized with this one. The new invoice is going to be of type invoice. Then we're going to have things like add sender info. It's going to be sender information. And this function is going to be implemented here. And what we're gonna do, like with the sender information, we are going to state in the state, the new invoice plus the sender information. Now let's see how we're gonna do that in the index. We're gonna say, hey, on submit, I want to const add sender information from the use store, imported from store, which I'd rather call it store index. And when we do on submit, I'm going to call add sender information data. Now, just to double check, in the summary, I will take the new invoice from the store. But I need to do it like this: new invoice, not this structure, but I'm gonna do data dot new invoice. And here in the index as well, data dot add sender info, to avoid unnecessary re-renderings. Now here in the name, I'm going to say new invoice sender info. But actually, this can be like different fields, right? Yeah, so it's going to be a bit different, but yeah, let's do it like this. New invoice sender info, address, and what else are we collecting there? The tax ID, right? In the store, let me see something. Add sender information, new invoice, and then sender. Yeah, that's right. So now if I'm gonna go here and say Vadim and so on, in the summary, I should say Vadim and my address. And if I go back to this sender and I do Vadim123 and here like this, and I go to the summary, it should automatically update. Yes, because we are using the same data. Perfect. I'm going to clean up a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna probably add some types and think about how to structure our schemas better. So let's add a new folder. Or maybe in the store to add a new file schema.ts. Probably it's not about the store, but let's try to do it here. No, actually I'm going to create a new folder, schema, and inside there I'm going to put the invoice.ts, and here is where I'm going to define the schema for the invoice. So I'm going to move from, for example, from index, not from this index, I'm going to move this type and the schema from here to my invoice here, sender info, Zod object. And I'm going to export them from here. Export. In the index here, I'm going to simply import the sender info type and the sender info schema. In the schema itself, I'm going to export a new type that is going to be called invoice. And the invoice is going to have sender info and so on. Now, this invoice is going to be used in the store to say that the new invoice is going to be of type invoice, imported from there. But it's not going to be, it's not going to have all the items. So I'm going to probably do, how is it called? Partial invoice. Okay. But now, and here, sender info, we can do here, this should be of type sender info. We can type it correctly from our schema invoice. And when we call this function, do we need to provide a type here? No, because it knows. And also when we call this function from index, it's going to be properly typed, because if I'm gonna say here, hello, I think it should tell me that, hey, we expected the name, address, and tax ID, but you sent us just the hello. So now it's properly typed as well. And finally, in the summary, the new invoice is a partial invoice. And it says that, hey, maybe sender info is not actually defined, which is true. So we should do question mark here. Or we should do, hey, if sender info is defined, only then show this one. Like this. What's going on? What's going on? Come on. What did I break here? Oh, I need one more closing tag. Or maybe that one should be here outside, and this one is not needed. Yeah. Okay, so now if I go here, it has information. Perfect. Now it's properly typed as well. Let's go ahead and do the same for the rest. I'm gonna start with the second page, which is recipient info. So recipient info, it's going to reuse the same sender info schema. Or let's maybe actually rename it and call it contact information, or person, or entity. How do we call it? Hey Daniel, how are you doing? Let's do contact information or person, or yeah, contact person, entity, business entity, business entity. Entity sounds very entity. Yeah, let's try entity. Sender, and let's not call it info. Let's do sender is an entity schema without info. Info, it doesn't give us a lot of data. And business entity, business entity schema. Yeah, let's do business entity to give a bit more context to this type, you know. Okay, so besides sender, we're gonna have recipient, which is also a business entity. Now back in our index here, we're gonna have to update some things like business entity and business entity schema. Nice. All good. For recipient, we're gonna also do business entity and business entity schema. Let's change them everywhere. Come on. And in the store, I'm going to do business entity. Let's type it like this. Add recipient info, which is also business entity. New invoice, recipient. Okay. Now in our recipient page, before we move to the next page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call add recipient info, but this function, we're going to take it from our store. Let's import it from store. And let's see, here we have it, here we have it. And in the summary, this is what? Sender info. New invoice. Store. Invoice. Oh, it's just sender and recipient. Okay, that's good. New invoice. Summary. Sender. And here I'm going to do the same with new invoice.recipient. If that's defined, then we're gonna display it here, and we're gonna use new invoice.recipient name, address, and tax ID. Okay. Let's do sender and recipient, and here as well, sender and recipient. Okay, let's try. Doesn't want to run. Oh, default values where? Somewhere here I have yes. Sorry. Now it should work. Let's restart the server and reload the application. New invoice, boom, 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 boom. Vadim, client name, and so on. Address, tax ID. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the same for the next pages. So the next one is invoice details. The invoice details, let's copy them from here in our schema. And I'm thinking, should it be a sub-object, or should it actually be like the invoice is going to be the invoice info, and yeah, I think like this. And that means invoice info, invoice. Now here, let's go ahead and import it. Or first we need from the schema to export. Export. From here we need to import them. In the store we need to say add invoice info, add invoice info, and we're gonna put destructure it there. Yes, that's true. So let's go ahead in the invoice info page, get this add invoice info from the store, and call it when we finish adding it. Now in the summary, we are going to receive it here, and we're going to say the invoice number is new invoice number, new invoice dot date, and new invoice due date. Nice. Next one is the items. Okay, the items. Let's see. invoice items. I'm gonna take them from here. Into our schema. Invoice item schema. The name is good, data is good. Invoice item. This one, I'm not sure if it should be here. Export const. Export. Items schema. It's an object with items. Maybe this one is going to be not here, but somewhere else. Because I can say that invoice will have items of type array, and that's it. Then back here, I think at the beginning, like, it's a bit harder to figure out everything, but export invoice schema. This item schema. So this is going to be items array. I think I can do it to do add minimum one item. Type items. Now in our store, we're gonna have add items, invoice items, and we're gonna implement this function. We're gonna say new invoice, and then items. But maybe we should append. No, maybe that's good. Let's just add to do. Maybe we should append items, because the function is called add items, but we are replacing the items field. So if there are already items, we're going to replace them. But I'm not sure if we need that. So I just added for future me to know. So in the form itself, let's go ahead and do get the function. And before moving to the next step, we are going to do add items, data items. And in the summary, where we have item quantity and so on, this is a sample item. We are going to do invoice or new invoice dot. Can I make my life easier and call it just invoice? Because I can. So invoice dot items dot map, and for each item I want to render a line, and one line is this row. It needs a key, which is going to be item dot maybe name. This is going to be item dot name. item.quantity, price, and price multiplied by quantity. And I'm going to remove our one here. So if I do new invoice, boom, 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 use store doesn't exist inside items. Okay, I need to import it, not from Zustand, from store. Boom, boom, boom. We have one item, example 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna add, I don't know, another one with a price of 125.13. Next. And here we see the items with right data. Perfect. Now, the last thing that I want to do now here is in our store, let's do get subtotal number, and the subtotal is going to be calculated here. Items, we're gonna look at the get. War empty string, items reduce, we're going to multiply price per quantity. So yeah, it should work for the totals there. Let's do subtotal is going to be equal to get subtotal. If I go back and do next, we have items and it should be 107. Yeah, because yeah, these are the things. Tax, I don't think I'm going to do tax right now. And for the total, I'm just going to do I'm just going to return the subtotal. Later on, I'm going to change things here, but now it's good. In the summary, let's do get total. Should I do subtotal here, subtotal, and call this function here? What do you think? Total. And this one is going to be total. If I go next, 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 we have total 100. If I come back and do change quantity to 2, and come here, it's 200. Yes, it works. And I can add 34 like this, name, next. Yes, 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 it works. Perfect. So now our whole data store is ready. Git commit -m data store Zustand. And we're kind of approaching the end of today's live stream. We still have like maybe 20 minutes because I think it actually in 15 minutes I'll have the group coaching session with the React Native Mastery students. If you bought React Native Mastery course and if you're part of it, today we're gonna have our first group coaching session. We're gonna have it on Zoom, and I have to be there. But before that, give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a very, very short break. I come back. We try to improve some of the styles, or maybe we leave them like this. And but yeah, like I'm super happy with what we have right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and improve some of the things that we already have, and get ready for tomorrow for a new day, because we have a daily live streams. All right, so I'm gonna be back. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So, how is everyone doing? How is your progress looking for the project? Let me do some minor things. What I could do maybe is adjust some of the headers in the stack navigator. Let's start here with stack. Oh, come on. I'm gonna start with stack.screen name index, and the index is going to have options: title, sender, what is the invoice info, item summary, and so on. There is also a recipient. So sender, recipient, invoice, items, and summary. Okay. For the summary page, I'm thinking how to improve it a little bit, how it looks, because it's very data intensive. So maybe what I'm going to do is maybe I'm going to extract this one outside. Come on. What you don't like? Sender information. Sender information. Margin bottom. I think I want to decrease the importance of the sender information label. Margin bottom 2. And I'm going to do color, maybe gray 700, 600. Yeah, maybe something like this. Let's try here as well. View. And a view closing here. So no more view inside required, right? Okay. gap 1 is going to be here. Sender information. Something like this. Maybe on this page, I would put the invoice details at the top. Maybe I'm going to change the style of this part. Take it out of the card and make it the header of the screen with large invoice number and dates below, something like this. Yeah. Something like that, like not exactly like that, but yeah, that's what I had in mind. Date. Should I do to ASO? Yeah, something like that. Feel like it's not enough padding, right? Or maybe it is. Sender information here, it should be recipient information. Let's do sender recipient again, keeping it simple. Invoice details. Instead of that, I'm gonna do items. Items. Looks like the initial part wasn't streamed. Think it should have been, like, unless there was some issues with my stream. But I think everything should be streamed. It should be there. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe something happened. There was a, what, header? No, invoice details. Total. Gap 2. Yeah, I don't know what's here. And here, maybe I don't even need this total stuff. Button, class name, margin top, auto maybe? No, 4, it's good. Flex 1. Okay, like this. So next, maybe I'm gonna add one more here. Next, and we have here the information. Item subtotal. Perfect. And probably when you press on one of these boxes, we can take you back to where you input that. So that is going to be the last thing that I'm going to do today. Fix some styles. Because in 2 minutes I have to join the Zoom call. And yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. We have like a large part of the application that we set to build. Tomorrow, so the first part to input data is done. Tomorrow I need to look into how to generate the PDF. So join me live to see the next steps. I'm going to take all of this data, I'm going to put it into a PDF generator, and we're going to allow users to store this invoice on their device. All right, that was our first day of Not Just Hack. If you haven't already joined, Not Just Hack is our online hackathon. It's going to be 1 month long, starting December 1st till December 31st. There is still time to join, like at any point in time during December, you can start building an application. And all you have to do is build an application and launch it to either App Store or Play Market. And submit your entry by 31st December. That's the deadline, and you have a chance to win some nice prizes. During this process, I'm myself going to build 4 applications in 4 weeks. I'm going to do daily streams. I'm going to show you the whole process from idea generation, from research to implementation to deploying it to stores and so on. Today, we already saw how I was using some keyword tools to try to find an idea that would rank organically. And if you're interested, make sure to subscribe to our channel not to miss our future videos. And if you haven't already, check out React Native Mastery, the course that we recently launched, the best course to master React Native and Expo development in 2025. And by the way, I'm trying to find the window, but here it is. During December, we have discounts that are going down by 1% every single day. So when you're watching this is going to be the maximum discount that you can get. Today is at 20% and tomorrow is going to be 19, 18 and so on. So go ahead to notjust.dev/React Native Mastery, get the discount and join the course to learn and master React Native. That was Vadim from Not Just Development. Happy hacking everyone in the hackathon who are building, and everyone who already joined React Native Mastery. I'm going to see you in a second. So it's already time for me to go. Thank you for sticking with me till the end. Have a